in this video we're gonna create all of our actions, and a quick explanation of what an action is. It's a trigger that tells our reducer what to do in case we need to update. So we're gonna tell our app, hey, do this thing, and our reducer will be, okay, I'll go do it. And then it'll return to us a new state. It's basically as simple as I could explain it. So here we go. So first I'm gonna create a actions file, so touch, and then we're gonna be in source store actions.ts. And then we're gonna create a bunch of action types. So this is gonna be an enumeration. So we're gonna export enum, and I'm gonna call it action types. So we have to basically define what is everything that can happen to our application. And let's see. So we know that we're gonna change the bill and the percentage. So I'm gonna just do bill change, and I'm gonna set this to bill change, and then percentage change. Percentage. So the right hand side is just gonna be the string equivalent of what our action type is, and then the left hand is just gonna be the actual type. And then I'm using change here because I'm gonna use the input tag from HTML and use the onChange event. However, for split, it's gonna be a little different. I'm gonna create a counter instead, so I'm gonna do split increment, split increment, and split decrement. And then I think we'll have one final action type of reset. And I think that's pretty clear, so I'm not going to actually add the description. Alright, so every action type can have a payload. So let's actually show you from Redux, and I want action. So if we go into action, the type here is just, it has to have a type, but it gets any action which has an extra prop. So you could add basically any type of data you want, and that's the reason why we're gonna create explicit types for each action. So for example, let's start with the first one. So this is interface of bill change action extends action, and type is the action types dot bill change. And this one's gonna have a payload of the actual number that we're gonna get back. So payload of number. And then some actions will not have a type or a payload associated with it. So for example, let's go with split increment. Interface split increment action extends action type action types dot split increments. And then we're gonna just export everything. So export type actions equals to bill change or split increment. Alright, so the reason why we set an explicit payload or not is that if we go into our reducer, it's gonna expect an action, and I'm actually gonna change this to actions from our actions. The naming is kind of confusing, so hopefully you don't get lost. So typically what you would see is a switch case on the action.type, right? And let's make sure we have a default right now where we return the state. So if none of the action types match, we're just going to return the state. So the reason why we do a case here on the action type, so action types dot build change and action types dot split increment are the two that we created. It'll go through all the actions and tell us what which action we have. So here we can do action, we do like return, let's just do state comma build equals to action dot payload. Hey, that's actually what we want to do. But here, the split increment doesn't have a payload, so if we do action dot payload, TypeScript will tell us that we're incorrect. So that's the advantage of it. While we're here, I'm just gonna do turn state, and we want to increment the, what is this? The split, right? So split is going to be state.split plus 1. So why is this wrong? Split is undefined. What? Oh, duh. Don't forget to spread your state, or else you would have to define each and every single. Well, I mean, it's not so bad because we only have 3. But yeah, that was the reason. Anyways, now we're just gonna go back to our actions and fill out the rest of our actions. So this is gonna be really boring. Just to give you a quick fast forward, percentage change, I'm gonna have a payload, split decrement, increment and decrement, and reset will not have a payload. Right, now this part's just busy work, so I'll actually probably skip this so you won't have to watch it. Once you have all of the actions, they basically all look like this. So change, percentage, split increment, split decrement, reset, and then your entire actions type could be it could only be one of any of these. So now we go into our reducers. So now in our reducers, we're just gonna basically do the same thing. For each of the changes, we're gonna, oh, I think I made a mistake. Alright, let me just do this really quick. So case action types of percentage change, we're going to return the spread of state as well as a new percentage that is based on action.payload of our percentage change. Now I'm going to go back into our actions really quick and make a quick change. So build change and percentage change, the payload's actually going to be a string. And that's because we're going to be using the HTML input event, which returns a string and not a number. And this will have some weird effects with decimals and other non-numeric types. So instead, we're just going to coerce it into a number here. And we'll have some string validation on this side to make sure that we always get a valid number. Yeah. I don't know. I don't think I'm going to go too deep into like validation in this series, but we'll see. Action types dot split decrements. This one, we're going to return state. And split is actually not just going to be state.split minus 1. Instead, we're going to do this. Let's see. Split is equal to state.split minus 1. But before assigning it to our new state, we're going to check if it's less than 1. So, yeah. So if it's greater than 1, then we'll pass in the new split amount. Otherwise, we're going to keep it the same. And this is just to make sure that the decrement never goes below 1, so it's always going to be a positive amount. See, does this make sense? If split, yeah, that'll be fine. And then finally, we have one last case that we need to take care of, and that's the reset. And for reset, this is pretty easy. We're just going to return initial state, which of course is just 0, 0, and 1. And this is when you want to calculate a new bill. Okay, cool. We don't need this anymore, so I'm going to get rid of it. And that is basically everything that we need in our store. So in the next video, we're actually going to build out the application. So that'll be fun. I'll see you guys next time.